Dora confirmed. How old are they? Just a year, matron. They're still so young. I must say I'm surprised you want to leave them and come back to nursing. Dora said nothing. She could already tell from Miss Fox's expression that she was going to be turned down again, and braced herself for another rejection. I do admire you for putting yourself forward, Miss Fox said finally, but the Civil Nursing Reserve rules are there for a reason. As you know yourself, nursing is a vocation. The hours are long, the work is very hard, and war or no war, we expect our nurses to dedicate themselves to this hospital. It's no job for a wife and mother. I'll manage, Dora insisted. I've moved back home so my mum can look after the twins while I'm working. We've got it all worked out. I see. And supposing you're in the middle of your shift, nursing several patients on the dangerously ill list, and you receive word that one of your babies is poorly. What will you do then? You can't drop everything and go home, and you'll hardly be able to do your job properly if you're worrying about your little ones either. I won't have to worry if my mum's there, Dora said stubbornly. She brought up 6 kids of her own. She'll know what to do. Miss Fox gave her an almost pitying look. I think you may find you feel differently about that when the time comes, she said kindly. A mother's instinct is to look after her own children, not someone else's. Yeah, well, I ain't got much choice thanks to Hitler. Dora hadn't meant to snap, but she was sick and tired of having doors closed in her face when all she was trying to do was help. They'd been exactly the same at the Labour Exchange, looking down their noses at her when she'd gone to volunteer. Believe you me, I'd like nothing better than to be at home with my husband and kids, but old Adolf and his mob have put a stop to that, she went on, ignoring Miss Fox's startled expression. Now I could either sit at home twiddling me thumbs and going off me head, or I can be here making myself useful. And the way I see it, matron, you could do with some help. From what I hear, you're having to rely on nursing auxiliaries with 5 minutes training. I know it ain't ideal, but wouldn't it be better to have someone like me working here? I want to be useful, and I know I can do a good job. I'll work as hard as I can, I promise. At any rate, surely I've got to be more use than a volunteer who doesn't know a bedpan from a bandage. Dora caught Miss Fox's frozen stare and realised that yet again she'd gone too far. Why did she always have to let her temper run away with her? Matron would never have her back now, not if this war went on for 100 years. She'd have to join the women's voluntary service making tea and mending socks for soldiers. I see you're still as outspoken as ever, Miss Fox remarked, her brows lifting. Sorry, matron. Dora lowered her gaze to the rug. It wasn't Miss Fox's fault. She was just following the rules, the same as everyone else. But the whole world seemed to be rules, rules, rules these days. Posters plastered on walls, leaflets from the government through the letterbox, all telling her what she could buy, what she should eat, where she could go and who she could speak to. Do this, do that, do as you're told. It was bad enough that they'd taken her husband away from her without them trying to run her life too. She was sick of the whole lot of them. She came back to the present when she realised Matron was addressing her. I hope you realise, Nurse Riley, that if you do return to this hospital, you will never be able to speak to me like that again, she said. Dora stared at her blankly. She'd barely heard what Matron had said. She was too busy trying to take in the fact that she'd just been addressed as nurse. It was a long time since anyone had called her that, and she hadn't realised how much she missed it. Pride flowed through her, straightening her spine and making her stand even taller. But still she could hardly trust herself to believe it. Do you mean I can come back? She asked. As you said yourself, we don't have a great deal of choice, Miss Fox admitted frankly. And while I'd argue with you that most of our nursing auxiliaries do know a bedpan from a bandage, Dora withered under her stern expression, I can't deny it would be useful to have more staff nurses on the wards. Thank you, matron. But as I've said, you must not expect any special treatment, Miss Fox went on. You'll be treated as any other staff nurse here, although of course you will not be expected to live in. But you will be expected to follow orders and to